Hello, welcome to the premiere episode of Movie Goons. My name's RJ. To my right, or your left,
Megan.
is Megan.
And I'm Nick.
I'm Carl Asami of Twin Opinion, and we watched one messed up movie and one very funny movie.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Double feature.
For those of you who can't read the title screens underneath us, we watched Orgazmo as our main feature, and our introduction episode was a little film from 1976 called Let My Puppets Come. And yeah, the title is not a double innuendo.
The classic.
But it is overselling.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a classic film.
Only one puppet actually did so. Yeah.
Much to our disappointment.
Yeah. It's like the Muppet movie for really depraved adults, I think. Yeah.
Triple X Muppet movie.
This movie kind of reminded me of Meet the Feebles, which was an early Peter Jackson movie. That movie I would describe as like the Muppet Show on crack, while this movie was like the Muppet Show meets like a college film student who put a lot of effort into their final.
Someone had too much time on that.
You know it's going to be a bad movie, right? And you going into it, but it's like, have you ever noticed how many names are in the credits? It's like there's so many people that want their names attached to that pile of crap. Producer this, director this, starring this. Like, really, you would want your name attached to that? Like,
Yeah, but everyone wants to get their name out there somewhere, man. You know, everybody wants to get famous somehow. They're like, they don't give a fuck
like
what
this?
it is, where it is.
It was directed by Gerard Damiano, who was fresh off of the success of Deep Throat at the time. And I brought a furl to the. And now I'm gonna go back to directing.
So you're
And
all
it
of a
was
sudden,
wonderful.
so there's some legitimacy to the movie now.
Yeah, I do. You know, it was
That
wonderful.
almost makes it worse.
That's terrible. So yeah, I think there was a lot of felt action in that movie.
Yeah.
And I don't really think there's much to say about it. Like,
I mean, what needs to be said about puppet porn?
Yeah.
You want to watch a porn, but for there to actually not be any actual sex in it, then
Right.
that's gonna be your thing.
Yes.
and
you know,
and puppet bestiality. I mean,
yes. Also that too.
Oh, yeah.
Puppet bestiality, that's not.
Are we gonna have
Including
clips
a
of
dog
the
and
movie
a-
I hope so.
inserted into this? Just watching
Just
this
crop
be
out
like,
the tits of the actual person.
Yeah.
There are YouTube guidelines we gotta follow.
I mean,
It's a
Forget the
fucking.
tits, don't forget the real monster.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you really want to punish our audience with that, though.
Yeah.
The actual.
Well, we're gonna throw an image up, like right around
So-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So that's what
there's
that
a-
looked like.
So there's a character that I want to mention who has a wonderful musical scene named Little Richard or Little Pecker, who has a wonderful musical scene that I should mention.
Insert a picture of Little Pecker here.
How many times have you seen this thing? Like, I can't remember half of the I was in that.
That's because it has the effect of cinematic roofie.
It's like it's like a cinematic PTSD. It's just it's something.
Yeah,
as
those
you
40
think about-
minutes just fly by. It's so.
When he
special.
said it was, he was like, oh yeah, the first thing is 45 minutes long. I was like, really? That was 45 minutes? Like, maybe if I was watching it by myself, it would have been like the most painful 45 minutes of my life. But
We haven't even covered the plot like at
I know.
all.
there is no plot to cover.
Well, it's kind of like the producer slash.
It tries.
Yeah.
Slash porno.
It's three like dudes in business suits, puppets in business suits. They have like some sort of a deal going with a mobster, and they need to come up with money within 24 hours, so they decide to make a porno. And I don't know where they thought they were going to get money within 24 hours from making this. Is before the internet, so clearly the money distribution is not going to work out in their favor in 24 hours. But
They were ahead of their time.
yeah,
They tried.
just awful.
It wasn't as offensive as I thought it would be.
No.
No, it was harmless in
Yeah.
certain regards, but it was just a bad movie.
My brain felt somewhat intact afterwards, you know.
Well, except for
But
the
only
bestiality.
Yeah, only
that was a
somewhat.
little
Yeah,
weird.
that
Yeah,
was
That was certainly strange.
The
I can
fish,
say
that was strange.
I can say I've
No,
certainly seen
yeah.
everything now.
Well, you know,
fish,
You ever seen a man
fish.
eat his own head?
No, but I can say
Well,
I've
that-
seen fish
that-
give a man a blowjob.
The fish scene, that's clearly a new way of baiting. Like, literally,
Just
a
let
new
it
way
hang out. I
of
hope you get a
baiting.
bite, you know.
Like,
Did you say it's masturbating?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. That
If
guy
you get
was
really
that
good
guy
at
was
it.
certainly a master baiter.
Oh,
Um,
if you get really good at it.
Terrible. If you can, is it available on YouTube?
No,
no.
God no.
Yeah,
It's
like-
on Pornhub though. We tried.
Oh, it's-
yeah, we tried.
oh.
A lot. Trust me.
That's terrible. All right, so Orgazmo is an actual studio film. It came out in what?
97, I think.
Was it 97?
Yeah.
I remember that they made it and then it got shelved for a number of years because like they hadn't, and they put it out after they got South Park famous.
More director interference.
Yeah.
This one I noticed
Fun
was
fact.
produced by the same people who produced the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Oh,
Wow.
The Kaz Hirai people.
Wow.
Kaz, or Double K Crush, something like that.
No wonder my mom loves this movie.
And they came so far.
Going back to the first time I saw the movie years and years ago, the one thing about this movie that like I will watch it over and over again, and I found it online, but that theme song, man, that theme song is the
Now
best.
You're a Man.
That, like
Yeah.
Now You're a Man by DVDA, like that is just
Which stands for...
Double badge.
yeah, which they explain in the movie
They do.
is where their band gets their name from, but I mean, it's just this side of Eye of the Tiger for like motivation.
Yes.
Like you just put that
Yeah.
first when you wake up. That should be your alarm
Yeah.
clock. Just that
it
song.
gets you
Yeah.
pumped up.
Yeah.
The
And
movie
if
is
you-
all
Like
movie is
the
all
man.
very over the top, and the soundtrack is equally over the top.
Yeah.
So it's kind of perfect.
So for those of us who are not familiar with the film, it is about a Mormon individual who knocks door to door on the set of a pornography film and proceeds to whoop all the security guards as asses and gets cast in the porno film, which is a superhero porno film, and the title character
That's fact.
being Orgazmo, by
Matt Trey?
Trey.
yeah, Trey
Oh,
Parker.
Trey Parker. Right.
And it's just so good. I mean, they don't really make the attempt at superhero CGI and stuff like that. It's very much, they keep it in the spirit of I guess like 90s VHS
Yeah.
porn, like, but yeah,
It's also lampooning, the old low-budget sci-fi movies of like
Right.
the 50s.
Yeah, like no
Yeah.
green screen, just like handmade
Oh,
everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Even the old Batman TV series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very-
You know.
Yeah, the dialogue, like, it's kind of funny, like, watching him, like, evolve as the actual Orgazmo. He starts off as a character in the movie called Orgazmo, and then later it's revealed that they can pull it off in real life. And as they progress further and further down, like, he actually, like, adopts, like, the banter talk and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to hear what Adam West would have thought of that movie. Like, honestly, like, can somebody
Yeah.
find, like, an interview with him back in the day? Like, it's like, that
I
would
don't know
be
if
great,
there's one available. I would like to see it.
for sure. But it's a classic. I mean, just about everything those guys have done, except for maybe with the exception of Princess, which was another thing we did for a different project.
Oh no,
Princess. Princess was
Oh, no.
kind of rough. But I mean,
Putting it lightly.
everything those guys
Yeah.
do has
Yeah.
been like gold. And Cannibal, easily one of the
Cannibal
best
the
musicals
musical,
of all
yeah.
time.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
Just, oh,
My heart
so
shined
good.
like a baked potato.
You can tell
yes.
Trey Parker was a true student of film when you watch this movie, because
Yeah.
it takes so many cliches that we've seen in all sorts of superhero movies, and of course the campy, Batman television series and things like that. And he really understands the story structure, and so the movie's presented in a very professional manner, in that there is like a plot and an overact, there's a strong character arc that goes throughout the movie, But then he's taking these action cliches and balances between playing it straight, but also, I mean, obviously it's very goofy. He's a porno superhero,
Right.
but he comes across as such a genuinely nice guy that you can't help but root for him.
That's sort of the unique thing about this movie. I mean, like most of the time when people set out to make a quote bad movie, an intentionally bad movie, it really becomes a bad movie.
It just is.
It just that's how it works. But this is like one of those rare exceptions where like the acting is intentionally bad in a lot of it.
But it works.
But it's like flawless. I mean, they really like pull it off and they make it funny. Porn has notorious over the years just no plots, no terrible acting. It's all about the skin and all that kind of stuff. So it's great when they're like, you know, actually shooting the dialogue scenes for the fake porn in the porn within the movie or the movie within the movie. And you know, it's like they could probably have like delivered the line really well, but they're intentionally just like screwing it up because it has to be authentic. It has to feel, and even though it's bad, you get the impression that it's like, okay, they're doing this on purpose and it's still believable. Like that, you know,
Well,
this is what it would be.
And to be clear, Orgazmo is not porn. It
No.
was
No.
NC-17, even not really for that reason. It was completely a different reason. There are some religious overtones that caused controversy and some other elements.
People got
Otherwise,
pissed
it wouldn't
off
have
and,
been.
you know,
Which is weird because the religion was handled kind of tastefully in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
and that's
It really was.
that's the thing. And I think with those two guys,
still
like
controversial.
everything, it's like they always take on Mormonism for some point. And honestly, they always come off as like sympathetic. I mean, the Mormon Church, it's just like it's the butt of the joke, but you end up kind of like not really like sitting there going, yeah, to hell with those Mormons or anything
No,
like
you
that.
end up- you
You're
still
like, you kind
rooting
of
for
go
them.
like, oh yeah, you kind of, they seem like nice people, and
Yeah.
it's great, but what?
Jesus approved. No.
And Jesus approves.
Jesus
That's
approves.
right. It's I don't know. It's a magical movie, but if you get the DVD, which I do own the DVD as well, it comes in two different versions. There's the NC-17 version, and then there's the unrated version. So far as I can tell, there's absolutely no difference between the two. I've watched both of them, and there's a little bit of extra skin maybe, but for the most part, they're almost identical.
It's got a better message than, what is it, God is not dead?
Yeah, oh god. Fuck that movie. Jesus does not
I've
approve.
avoided seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It is weird, like for considering how up in arms like different religious factions get over a lot of this stuff, like how positive it ends up making the religion look. I mean, they're humanizing things a little bit more. They go in thinking, oh, it's porn, it's bad. Jesus wouldn't want us to do this and all that, and then by the end, it's like almost like they kind of like see like, yeah, well, it's bad, but at the same time,
He's not
like,
actually fucking anybody.
we're doing something bad for a good cause, and they make an exception for that. Just kind of rare,
Yeah,
in,
that's
Well,
like
that's-
for actual people to do something like that.
That's the element of just having character growth and story too, though.
Yeah.
Which a good movie is going to have. The character starts out with one firm belief or a flaw that they're sort of gripping onto, and then over the movie they see, well, maybe there's something I should be doing differently, and it's sort of a revelation for them, and they change. And
Yeah.
hero's journey.
Word.
And then the ending totally sequel baits. Just
Yeah.
Like all
Oh
modern
yeah,
superhero
no, like
movies.
what, I mean, where's the big budget? Like the
Orgazmo 2.
Spider-Man 2, yeah, kind of
When
like
you see where
follow
Neuter
up.
Man comes in.
Yeah, I've always that's kind of a weird like plot twist in that, like because in the movie within the movie, the neutered man has his testicles removed, so Orgazmo's ray doesn't work on him. And then in like the real life version of Orgazmo that happens in the movie, like the dude gets his donger cut off. Like it's like, okay, but
It still doesn't like the
is that
puppet
does that
movie
still
where-
qualify as neutered? That's not neutered. That's like castrated. But-
Yeah.
I don't think they would get that technical.
No.
Yeah, we're putting way too
Castrated
much
man.
thought into something
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
just genuinely funny. In fact, we'll probably cut that part.
Which means we won't.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's our first
Yeah.
episode, our first viewing. We do this a lot. We watch bad movies, and
And,
next
there'll
week's
be another
next
one
week's
next week.
episode will be My Bloody Valentine, which I have
Yeah.
I've not seen.
My
so-
personal favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
not seen that yet. I'm
yeah.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. And that's from like the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, no.
so this is
that
terrible.
was just-
We're gonna look like certain like, people that like actually like that movie.
I don't
and
actually
be like,
remember
screw
anymore.
these guys. They don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't remember anymore, but so 81? Yeah.
81.
alright,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Early
Cool.
80s.
So
Yeah, all right.
there we go. So you'll have to join us next time for that.
Yes.
So from all of us at Movie Goons, see you later.
See you later, guys.